or broken, and they will work upon activation. Next, I have 4 crossover lights. My 2 outer ones are red, my 2 inner ones is orange in color. They are all properly attached to my vehicle. They are not chipped, cracked, or broken, and they all will work upon activation. Next, I want to check my windshield wiper arm. My wiper arm is metal. They are properly attached to my vehicle, have the proper tension. They are not bent, cracked, or broken. My blaze is properly attached, and they are not dry rotted or corroded. Also, my electrical wiring is properly attached to my wiper arm, and it's not cut or dry rotted or corroded. Next, I want to check my windshield. My windshield is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not chipped, cracked, or broken. My rubber seal around my window is not dry rotted or corroded. I see no leaks, and all of my stickers are clean and up to date. Next, I want to start with my flat mirror and convex mirror and my mirror bracket. My flat mirror and my convex mirror is properly attached to my bracket. They are not chipped, cracked, or broken. My bracket is properly attached to my vehicle, has no missing nuts or bolts, and my electrical wiring on my bracket is not cut, spliced, or frayed. Next, I want to check my turn signal lights and 4-way flashers. They are all amber in color, properly attached to my vehicle. They are not chipped, cracked, or broken, and they all will work upon activation. Next, I want to check my headlights. They are clear in color, properly attached to my vehicle, not chipped, cracked, or broken, has no water condensation, and they operate on regular and high beam. Next, I want to check my crossover mirror brackets. My crossover mirror is properly attached to my bracket. My mirrors is not chipped, cracked, or broken. My battery is properly attached to my vehicle. There's no missing nuts or bolts. My electrical wiring is not cut, spliced, or frayed. Next, I want to check my hood, my grill. My grill is properly attached to my vehicle. My grill is clean and free of debris. Next, I want to check my bumper. My bumper is properly attached to my vehicle. Not bent, cracked, and broken. Has no wales other than factory made. Next, I want to check my tow hooks. My tow hooks are both properly attached to my vehicle. They are not bent, cracked, or broken, and they will work upon activation. Next, I want to check my tag. My tag is properly attached to my bumper. My tag is clean and up to date. Next, I want to go underneath my hood. Starting on my back panel, I have my electrical wirings. My electrical wirings are all properly attached to my vehicle. They are not cut, spliced, or frayed. My hoses is rubber. They are properly attached to my vehicle. They are not dry rotted or corroded, and I see no leaks. Next, I want to check my radiator and my air intake hoses. They are both properly attached to my vehicle. They are not bent, cracked, or broken. My clamps are tightly fit. On my radiator hose, I see no leaks, and on my air intake hose, I hear no leaks. Next, I want to check my oil dipstick and tube. My tube is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. I see no leaks. My oil dipstick itself, if I wanted to get the proper measurements of my oil level, I will pull out this dipstick, wipe it off, reinsert it, pull it up a second time, and it should read somewhere in between, add to full. I would do this with my engine off. Next, I would check my transmission dipstick and tube. My tube is properly attached to my vehicle, not bent, cracked, or broken. I see no leaks. And my transmission dipstick, if I wanted to check this, I would check this with my vehicle running. I would pull out my dipstick, wipe it off, reinsert it, get the proper reading, and I will add fluid according to my readings. Next, I want to check my gear-driven air compressor and governor. They are both properly attached to my vehicle. They are not bent, cracked, or broken. My air compressor has no missing nuts or bolts, and I hear no leaks. My air compressor hose in metal is not bent, cracked, or broken. My clamp is tight to fit, and I hear no leaks. My governor properly attached to my vehicle, not bent, cracked, or broken. I see no leaks from my governor. My governor hoses is rubber. They are not dry rotted or corroded. My clamps are tight to fit, and I see no leaks. Next, I want to check my tie rod and my axle. Both my tie rod and my axle are both properly attached to my vehicle. They are not bent, cracked, or broken. Next, I want to check my frame. My frame from front to rear is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. Has no wells other than factory. Next, I want to check my power steering reservoir. My power steering reservoir is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. I see no leaks. My cap is tight to fit. I see no leaks. And if I wanted to check the oil level in my power steering reservoir, I will pull out this indicator, wipe it off, reinsert it, get the proper readings, and I will add fluid accordingly. Also on my power steering reservoir, I have a hose. My hose is rubber. It's not dry rotted or corroded, properly attached to my vehicle. My clamps are tight to fit, and I hear no leaks. Next, I want to do my steering system. My steering system consists of my steering shaft, my universal joint, my steering gearbox, pitman arm, drag link, and steering knuckle. All of my steering system is properly attached to my vehicle. My steering shaft is not bent, cracked, or broken, and I have no excessive play in my steering shaft. My universal joint is properly attached. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. It is properly greased and free of debris. My steering gearbox, properly attached to my vehicle, not bent, cracked, or broken. I have no missing bolts, and I see no leaks. My pitman arm, drag link, and steering knuckle are all properly attached to my vehicle. Neither one is bent, cracked, or broken, and they are all held together by 3 capsule nuts and 3 cotter keys on both ends. That completes my steering system. Next, I want to do my suspension system. My suspension system consists of my leaf springs, U-joint and bolt, spring hangers, shock absorber, and bushing. Checking my leaf springs. They are properly attached to my vehicle. They are not bent, cracked, or broken. I have no more than 1/4 that is missing. If I did, it would put this bus out of service until it can be repaired by a certified mechanic. My U-joints and bolts is not bent, cracked, or broken, properly attached to my vehicle. My leaf springs mount, the front and the rear, are both properly attached to my vehicle. They are not bent, cracked, or broken. I see no running rust or shininess, which would indicate a loose lug. My shock absorber is properly attached to my vehicle, not bent, cracked, or broken, and I see no leaks. My rubber bushing is properly attached to my shock absorber. It's not dry rotted or corroded, and I see no leaks. Next, I want to do my brake system. My brake system consists of my brake line, my brake chamber, slack adjuster, and push rod, my drum, my brake liner, and my inside hub oil seal. Starting with my brake line. My brake line is properly attached to my vehicle. It's rubber, it's not dry rotted or corroded. My clamps are tight to fit, and I hear no leaks. My brake chamber is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken, and I hear no leaks. My slack adjuster and push rod sit at a 90-degree angles. With my wheel choke and my brake release, I should not be able to move that push rod no more than 1 inch. Next, I want to check my brake drum. My brake drum is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. Has no wells other than factory. Inside my brake drum is a brake pad or liner. My brake liner is properly attached to my drum. It is free of grease and debris, and it has no less than 1/4 of an inch thickness. Inside my brake drum is an inside hub oil seal. My inside hub oil seal is properly attached to my vehicle. My cap is tightly fit, and I see no leaks. Next, I want to go to my tire system, starting with my steering tire, my front tire. My tread depth on this tire can be no less than 4/32 of an inch. I have about 80 to 100 pounds of pressure in this tire. This tire cannot be recapped, regrooved, retread, or mismatched. Checking my inner and outer wall of my front tires. They are not dry rotted or bulging. I see no exposed electrical wiring. My tire bead is tightly fit to my rim, and I hear no leaks. Next, I want to check my valve stem. My valve stem is properly attached to my rim. It's metal, therefore if it's not bent, cracked, or broken. My cap is tightly fit, and I hear no leaks. Next, I want to check my rim. My rim is properly attached to my vehicle, not bent, cracked, or broken, has no wells other than factory. Checking my lug and nuts on my rims. They are all properly attached to my vehicle. I see no running rust or shininess, which would indicate a loose lug nut. Next, I want to check my outside hub oil seal. My hub oil seal is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. My cap is tightly fit, and I see no leaks. If I wanted to check the level of my oil inside my hub oil seal, I will pull this cap off, insert my pinky finger, get the proper measurements, and I will fill it according to how much I need. Coming around on the other side. Starting with my turbocharger. My turbocharger is rubber. It's properly attached to my vehicle. It's not dry rotted or corroded, and I hear no leaks. Next, I want to check my air intake housing. My air intake housing is plastic. It's properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken, and I hear no leaks. Next, I want to check my windshield washer reservoir. My windshield washer reservoir is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. I see no leaks. My cap is tightly fit. I see no leaks. Next, I want to check my gear-driven water pump and alternator. My water pump is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken, and I see no leaks. My alternator is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. My electrical wiring is not cut, spliced, or frayed. Next, I want to check my V-belt. My V-belt is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not cut, spliced, or frayed, and I should have no more than 3/4 inch play from the center. Next, I want to check my radiator reservoir. My radiator reservoir is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. My cap is tightly fit, and I see no leaks. Checking my radiator reservoir hoses. My hoses is rubber. They are not dry rotted or corroded. My clamps are tightly fit, and I see no leaks. If I wanted to check the level of my radiator reservoir, I have right here a sight glass that would give me the proper measurements. Next, I want to check my fans, my blades and my fan. My fan is properly attached to my vehicle. I have no missing blade. Next, I want to check my radiator shroud. My radiator shroud is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. Let's go back on the other side. Starting at the top of my vehicle, on the driver's side. Up top here I have what is called a highway horn. My highway horn is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not been cracked or broken, and it will work upon activation. Next I have 3 clearance lights. The first 2 are amber in color. The last one is red in color. They are properly attached to my vehicle. They are not chipped, cracked, or broken, and they will work upon activation. Here I have my stop sign. My stop sign is red in color. So are my lights are red in color. They are all properly attached to my vehicle. My hinges is properly attached to my vehicle, and it will work upon activation. Here I have a turn signal, which is amber in color. It's properly attached to my vehicle. It's not chipped, cracked, or broken, and it too will work upon activation. Looking down the side of my vehicle, checking out all my windows. My windows are all properly attached to my vehicle. They are not chipped, cracked, or broken. My metal frames around my windows is tightly fit, and I see no leaks. Also on this side of my vehicle, I have 4 emergency exits. I have 4 on this side, and I have 4 on that side, and they all work upon activation. Right here, inside of here, is my battery box container. My battery box door opens and closes properly. My hinges are tightly fit, and it allows me to open and close my door properly. Inside here, I have 2 24-volt fully charged batteries. My bar that holds them in place is tightly fit. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. My terminals on my battery has no excessive corrosion, and my electrical wiring on my batteries is neither cut, spliced, or frayed. Underneath my vehicle right here, I have a drive shaft and a hanger. My drive shaft and universal joint are both properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. My universal joint is clean and properly greased and free of debris. My hanger is properly attached to my vehicle, and it's not bent, cracked, or broken. Coming down the side of my vehicle, I have 2 markers. One is amber in color, the other one is red. They are both properly attached to my vehicle, and they are neither chipped, cracked, nor broken. Starting back here with my drive tires, I'm going to begin with my suspension system. Checking my leaf springs. My leaf springs are all properly attached to my vehicle. They are not bent, cracked, or broken, and I have no illegal shifting or no more than 1/4 of my leaf springs that are missing. Checking my universal joint, my U-joint and bolts. They are both properly attached to my vehicle. My U-joints is not bent, cracked, or broken, and my bolts underneath are tightly fit. Checking my leaf springs mount, front and rear. They are both properly attached to my vehicle. They are not bent, cracked, or broken. I see no running rust or shininess, which would indicate a loose lug nut. Next, I want to check my shock absorber and bushing. My shock absorber is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken, and I see no leaks. My bushing is properly attached to my shock absorber. It's not dry rotted or corroded, and I see no leaks. Next, I want to check my brake system, starting with my brake hose. My brake hose is rubber. It's properly attached to my vehicle. It's not dry rotted or corroded. My clamps are tightly fit, and I hear no leaks. Starting with my brake chamber. My brake chamber is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken, and I hear no leaks. Next, I want to check my slack adjuster and push rod. They both sit at a 90-degree angle. With my wheels chalk and my brake release, I should not be able to move that push rod no more than 1 inch. Also on these drive tires, I have a brake drum. My brake drum is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken, has no wear other than factory. Inside my brake drum is a brake liner or brake pad. My brake pad has no excessive grease, is properly attached to my drum, and it has no less than 1/4 inch thickness. Also inside that brake drum, I have an inside hub oil seal. My inside hub oil seal is properly attached, my cap is tightly fit, and I hear no leaks. Next, I want to check my tire system on my drive system. These tires have between 80 to 100 pounds of pressure. The tread depth on these tires can be no less than 2/32 of an inch. These tires can be recap, regroove, retread, or mix match. Checking the inner and outer wall of my drive tires. They are not dry rotted or bulging. I see no exposed wires. My tire bead is tightly fit, and I hear no leaks. Next, I want to check my 2 valve stems facing each other. They are properly attached to my rim. They are not bent, cracked, or broken. My caps are tightly fit, and I hear no leaks. Next, I want to check my rims, both inner and outer. They are both properly attached to my vehicle. They are not bent, cracked, or broken. They have no wales other than factory. Checking my lug and nuts on my rim. They are all properly attached to my vehicle. I see no running rust or shininess, which would indicate a loose lug nut. Checking my outside hub oil seal. My outside hub oil seal is properly attached to my vehicle. My lug and nuts are tightly fit. I see no running rust or shininess, which would indicate a loose lug nut, and also I see no leaks. Also on these drive tires, in between these tires, I have no debris or anything that would impede these tires from rotating. Checking my mud flaps, front and rear. They are both properly attached to my vehicle. They are not dry rotted or corroded, and they are at least 6 inches off the ground. Next, I want to check my muffler and my tailpipe. They are both properly attached to my vehicle. Neither is bent, cracked, or broken. I see no soot, which would indicate an exhaust leak. Coming to the back of my vehicle, starting up top, I have 3 amber lights that are red in color. They are properly attached to my vehicle. They are not chipped, cracked, or broken, and they will work upon activation. In the back of my bus, I have 4 crossover lights. I have 2 outer that are red and 2 inner that is amber in color. They are all properly attached to my vehicle. They are not chipped, cracked, or broken, and they all will work upon activation. Checking my back windows, all of them is properly attached to my vehicle. They are not chipped, cracked, or broken. My rubber seal around my windows is not dry rotted or corroded, and I see no leaks. Next, I want to check my door. My door opens and closes properly. My hinges is properly attached to my vehicle, and they allow me to open and close my door properly. Next, I want to check my turn signal and 4-way flashers. My turn signals and 4-way flashers are amber in color. They are not chipped, cracked, or broken, properly attached to my vehicle, and they will work upon activation. Next, I want to check my service lights and my brake lights. They are both red in color, properly attached to my vehicle. They are not chipped, cracked, or broken, and they will work upon activation. Next, I want to check my backup lights. They are clear in color, properly attached to my vehicle, and they will work upon activation. Also, in the back of my bus, I have 2 marker lights that are red in color. They are properly attached to my vehicle. Next, I want to check my tag. My tag is properly attached to my vehicle. My tag is clean, clear, and up to date. Next, I want to check my rear bumper. My rear bumper is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken, and it has no wales other than factory. Coming on the side of my vehicle, my passenger side of my vehicle, I have 2 storage compartments. One here and one here. There is nothing on the inside of them, so there is no need for me to open them. Right here inside of this compartment, I have my emergency door release. My emergency door release handle is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken, and it will work upon activation. Inside this compartment is my fuel tank. My fuel tank is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. My cap is tight to fit, and I see no leaks. Checking my fuel tank housing. My fuel tank housing is properly attached to my vehicle, and it's neither bent, cracked, or broken. Next, I want to check my entrance door. My door is properly attached to my vehicle. It opens and closes properly. My glass is not chipped, cracked, or broken, and my rubber seal around my glass is not dry rotted or corroded. Inside here, I have my inside step light. My inside step light is clear in color, properly attached to my vehicle, and it's not bent, cracked, or broken, chipped, cracked, or broken, and it will work upon activation. Here I have my step grab bar. My grab bar is properly attached to my vehicle. It's not bent, cracked, or broken, and there's no missing nuts or bolts. Next, I have my stairs. My stairs is properly attached to my vehicle. My stairs is clean and free of debris. Coming on the inside of my vehicle. Up top here, I have my first aid kit. My first aid kit is properly attached to my vehicle, and inside I have the necessary first aid equipment. Also in my storage compartment, I have 3 reflective triangles. And also here on the floor, I have a fully charged ABC fire extinguisher. Coming on the inside of my vehicle, I have 2 overhead exit compartments. They operate on 3 functions. They are not bent, cracked, or broken, and they too will work upon activation. Checking the inside latch on my back door. My inside latch on my back door allows me to open and close my door properly. And if my bus was running, this red light would come on accompanied with a buzzer. As I walk back towards the front of my vehicle, I'm inspecting all of my seats. All of my seats is properly attached to my floor, and they are not leaning, and there is no cut or scratches inside my